and got all my onions and leeks floating to the top. And I've got potatoes here. These are just russet potatoes. And I'm just going to chop them. Now you can, if you want to, you can leave the skins on. And then you get the benefits of the nutrients in the skin. I'm going to leave them on. A lot of times I will peel them off. It depends on what you're comfortable with. Because I know, like my kids, they're not crazy about potato skins. I'm fine with them, but my kids are like, eh. So I'm going to leave the skins on, but so my kids, maybe I get this pot of soup all to myself. I don't know. We'll see. But again, you're blending it up. So I'm just going to take about, because this is a double recipe, and I love potatoes. So the more potatoes you put in, the creamier it will be. You can always adjust it with liquid. So I'm going to put in a few potatoes here. And I'm just chopping them up. So that's it. These are pretty big ones. They're like 2 potatoes. So, and I'm just gonna fill it. Whoops. I think that's enough. That's gonna fill my pot. And I've got my garlic here that's been sitting for about 15 minutes. I'm going to add it in. And I've got about 8 cloves of garlic here. Again, you can adjust it if you're not a big garlic fan. But letting it sit, the enzymes allow the healing properties of the garlic to come out. And then I'm going to add some poultry seasoning, about a tablespoon of that. Let me get my spoon. And of course, just going to add in, like I said, about a tablespoon. Of poultry seasoning. I like using the poultry seasoning because it's all nicely powdered up for me to start with. You can add a little salt and pepper to that. I don't add too much salt, but I do add a little bit of salt. And I've got my salt here. Just going to shake a little bit in, like a teaspoon, half a teaspoon, whatever. And then a little bit of black pepper. And I am going to let that come to a boil. Then we're going to turn down the heat and simmer it. Now I like to, you can simmer it, I guess, till the potatoes are soft. I usually like to let it go a little bit longer to kind of develop the flavors a little bit more. I love setting my soup up in the morning like this time and going off and doing some stuff for 45 minutes. I put it on low, come back, check it a couple of times, stir it around, enjoy the beautiful aroma, and then come back to finish it off in I usually let it go about 45 minutes. I think, you could probably get away with 20 minutes letting it soften, but again, I like to let all the flavors blend in. So now I have a pot of soup that's been simmering on my stove for the last hour or so. I'm going to bring this closer so you can see a little bit here. I'm going to turn it to my other camera if it's working. Yes. All right. There is my soup that's been on. I just took it off. It's really thick. Ooh. Now, you see how thick it is. I love it that way. If that's too much for you, you can keep it thinner. Now, what I'm going to do, I have some Chaw's organic coconut milk. And this is a half recipe, so I'm going to do just around a half of the can. For the full recipe, I put in the whole can. I'm just going to take off the lid. I shook it up a little bit. I love the Chaw's. It's organic. I believe you can get it in both Canada and the US now. I'm going to go about half a can or so. Add that in. And at least in my Costco, you can buy it in a case. Now it's a little bit chunky here, but it'll blend up. And yeah, the case in Costco is a very good buy. It's 6 for like $12 or $13 at least, last time I remember. And it you can get 2 cans for that price in the grocery store, 2 to 3 cans. And then I have some lemon juice I'm going to add in. Now I'm adding in probably a couple of tablespoons. You can add in some and then add in to taste, depending. All right, now I can see my other one here. Let me see if I can move this over. The other one here now is just starting to boil. So I'm going to turn it down to simmer now. Let me get this the right way. Okay, I'm going to turn that one down to kind of a medium low so it can simmer, and let it simmer for a while. Like I said, about 45 minutes. I'm going to put the lid on and let it simmer. Let the lid go. All right, so now for this one, now you can put this finished version into a blender. Be careful that you don't burn yourself. You probably have to do it in stages. I have an immersion blender that I'm going to use. Again, be careful about the heat. I put it in here. Now, the other way that you can do this is just mash it with a potato masher. That'll have more chunky. So you can make it chunky, you can make it really smooth. It's up to you. We like a little bit of chunk, but not too much.